more tragic, an escape room injury.
I saw this.
You did saw this. In fact, you were the reason I put this in Puzzle Talk at all. Now, I'm going to preface this with, I know the last time that a woman got hurt in an escape room, I laughed at her. It's not happening this time. I promise I won't laugh at anybody. But it would appear we have another escape room injury story to cover here today. A 30-year-old woman played an escape room in Milan, and due to a collapsing floor, the woman fell from the second floor and sustained several back injuries. However, there are no life-threatening injuries. Thank goodness.
So I'm guessing that floor wasn't to code.
Definitely not. And it's stuff like this that I believe is going to set up escape rooms to have to get, like, yearly inspections done.
They get yearly inspections done.
Do they? Because I don't know about the half of that stuff. I don't hear about yearly inspections. I don't hear about, escape room closed because it failed inspection. You know what I mean?
There's yearly inspections. The difference is that every township has their own regulations, and it's not like it's a federally governed system.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, we build everything the same way in New Jersey and Pennsylvania. However, what we were checked for in Pennsylvania was massively laxed compared to what we're checked for in New Jersey. Now, again, we build the same way in both. So we pass in New Jersey with flying colors, no issue. Now, PA was built the same way. However, what I'm getting at is the fact that nobody checked. Our inspection was the extent of them walking through the front door, peeking around the corner. You can't even see the game. And they were like, oh, looks like you did a great job. All right, we'll have the paperwork in the mail. Meanwhile, in Morristown, every single crevice was inspected. We had to bring them in between phases because they need to be able to check the structural status of everything. So, like, you frame, you can't put drywall up. They have to come and check. And then you could only put one side up because they want to make sure that before you seal the other side, you've already run everything through the walls that you're going to run, cables, etc. So all this stuff is supposed to be checked.
And obviously this floor was not checked. Otherwise, a woman wouldn't have gone careening from the second
floor. The only thing I could think of is either, a lot of people don't move into a newly leased space and rebuild a floor. So, the fear there was that floor already a disaster waiting to happen and no one knew?
No one knew, or possibly no one got ignored. I mean, this is just like another example, too, of like how people are afraid to play escape rooms before because of like, the movies and stuff like that. And now people are finding out like there was a fire in Poland. Someone went careening through a floor. Someone bashed their face on a door frame.
I know of a theme park that runs full-scale roller coasters off of a backup Jenny. So it's not just escape rooms.
It's entertainment attractions in general.
So, it's there is a level of you're putting a lot of trust into entertainment venues that, escape rooms are probably much less risky than a theme park.
Definitely, because you're not worried about someone going
or
flying.
Or amusement park.
Yeah, you're not worried about someone going flying off of a 1,000-foot ride or whatever else.
Like, for example, we were just talking over the weekend about we had one magnet in Freak Show that wasn't getting proper connection. So it popped open twice. And we were able to just close it real quick and nobody noticed. But it was just the factor of we couldn't figure out why. It turns out the strike plate just wasn't making 100% contact the way it needed to. But one of the first things Chris had said was we can't be experiencing a power outage on one magnet. If we have a power outage, all of them are going to go because they're all wired into the same board in the closet.
Mm-hmm.
So think about that from the perspective of safety gears in a theme park ride.
It's a lot of work.
Well, if one safety measure goes, they might all go because they're all wired together.
Exactly.
So, you're in a much more risky situation. Certain parks, for example, Disney, Universal, there's crews that are observing those, and there's computers that give data analysis on all the safety gear hourly, and there's backups to backups. But when you're talking about smaller, I don't want to say smaller, but parks like Great Adventure, parks like, what are they called? Knoebel or
That thing. I don't
Knoebels.
Knoebels. Yeah, Knoebels.
That are much older, don't have nearly the revenue generation of a Disney or a Universal park. Are they keeping backups of all their gear? Are they running data analysis on every safety measure and every ride mechanism? Those are questions that you got to kind of wonder when you're going to those parks versus others. Or actually, even better example, the local carnival.
Mm-hmm.
I highly doubt they're checking any of that.
Oh no, doubtful. I mean, you ever been on that ride? What's it called? The Zipper?
Oh.
It's basically you're in this cage or whatever else, and like the cage kind of like flips around while you're in it as it goes up and down. You bash your face off of it.
Yes.
There's a couple teeth. It's at every like fair that pops up in whatever little like country area. Games made of cardboard. Hello,
Games made of cardboard.
Welcome to the chat. We thank you for joining us here.
The end all be all of that though is just there's got to be a little bit of awareness of what you're getting into. What happened at that escape room, I honestly think, is a total fluke scenario. How often does a floor collapse?
Not often. What we're talking about, games made of cardboard, is that a woman ended up falling several meters from an escape room in Milan. The floor fell out from underneath her. And we're going on to just kind of the things that play into that, as well as safety inspections.
Mike, when you're in the midst of your next card switch, you should probably unplug and replug your camera in, because I noticed you're choppy.
Yeah, I noticed I was getting a little choppy too, which is a great segue for me to get.
And we hope you'll join us next time, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't below. Like, comment, subscribe.
And